And like I say, I was the one who actually invented nuclear weapons. Um, I wanted to squash a particle or squash matter down. Like I said, many people would know about in Europe and in Germany. Um, Many people would know this to be a fact that I was trying to see how much you could compress something. We were using some great big huge giant piston things to try and compress things down as small as we could compress them. You know, metal and dirt and all that other stuff, making compressing. Many people would look at me as crazy. Many people did look at me as crazy because I was trying to compress things down to really small spaces. We were using great big pressure steam pistons or hydraulic or turn screws to compress things down, bricks and stuff like that. And I was trying to compress something even smaller. And I was wondering, well, what happens if you actually compress it smaller than it can possibly be compressed physically? Like, what would happen then? Anyway, though, it was kind of a ridiculous, like I say, no one had ever seen nuclear weapons. No one had ever thought about nuclear weapons. No one had ever thought about compressing something smaller than it could be compressed. And I wanted to try, and I was like, well, maybe we could compress it. And I thought about explosions because I knew explosions had a great amount of force, and it had a very fast force, shock force, like a shock wave. And I thought, well, if you wrap something in explosives, and then you detonate all the explosives together, or in series, so that's creating a shock wave, which is going closer. Like, let's see, I forget how, but basically the way I explained it was basically, I want to get the shock wave to go in and not out. Like most explosions explode out, and I wanted an explosion to explode in. So you're compressing it. You're compressing it down. So because I was trying to create an inward explosion, which is kind of crazy. I told my people, I was like, I want to see if we can do an inward explosion, because explosions always explode out. And some people say, well, actually, it explodes because everybody knows that it explodes from the little what's called, and then anyway, that's the explosion. So I wanted to explode something in. I wanted to get it to go, the explosion to go inward, and that is what led to nuclear weapons. Anyway, those little words right there, I wanted to get an inward explosion. Anyway, so my people started thinking about it and started rationalizing it, and eventually we decided to try it to see if we could get an inward explosion, to see if that would actually do something significant. Anyway, I don't know. It was a crazy experiment. It was crazy experiments. I was an explosive manufacturer. What can I say? We manufactured. I had the largest dynamite, gunpowder, and explosives manufacturing ever. And like I said, no one put much stock in explosions or anything else like that until basically I was trying to get my inward explosion to work. And that's when we did it. We started, anyway though, yeah, so whatever. Science, technology, and all kinds of stuff would happen afterwards. History would be made, whatever. So, yeah, I was trying to get an inward explosion and stuff like that. So, anyway, well, before that, everyone just thought explosives could just take out a house or maybe a small city or something like that. I don't know. I was trying to get explosions to go ever bigger and bigger and bigger because, I was trying to break rock. I was trying to get the better way of breaking rock. Rather than lots of little taps, one big explosion. So, mostly it was just for mining. I was mining, so, and all the good metal was inside the rock. So, anyway, whatever. And there's mountains in my way. I wanted to move mountains before people used to think that you couldn't move a mountain. And well, that's not exactly true. You actually can move mountains. So, anyway, to break it up, so it's easier to handle.